Hey everybody, I'm Brad Williams, Big Table's board chair and your MC for Eats Around the World 2020 style. Our theme for our virtual fundraiser is right on your screen, Big Table in the Storm, because let's face it, this year and this pandemic has battered every one of us. And many of those in the restaurant and hospitality industry have lost everything, or they've barely survived this long but don't know if they can make it any longer. So it feels appropriate to face this head on and name it. I can tell you there has never been a more critical need for Big Table and the care that we together provide for those in crisis. We all saw in March how the entire industry was shattered overnight and millions lost their jobs. Big Table was there, not just with triage care, but to offer hope and a voice on the other end of the phone saying that someone cared. And as the country has jumped and skittered and back and forth through all the shutdown and reopening phases, and so many scrambled to figure out what to do, our care teams have never stopped reaching out to those most in need. In the next half hour, we want to give you a glimpse of hope. Hope in the storm. We create community and we care for those in crisis in the restaurant and hospitality industry, and this right now is exactly what is needed. I'll be back to share more, but now let me introduce our city director in San Diego, Jesse Vigil. Jesse, I have a little something for you here. Here you go.
And sanitizer. Thanks for the 2020 humor, Brad. Well, let me add to Brad's welcome. My name is Jesse Vigil, and I'm the City Director for Big Table in San Diego. We just want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I have the honor and privilege of leading this team here locally. And while we have seen the challenges throughout this pandemic, we've seen many organizations that have tried to access and understand what's going on with this industry. While they were trying to access this industry, we were already here. For the past decade, we've laid the groundwork in order to care for individuals that work in the hospitality industry. So for Big Table, the question wasn't, what do we do now? The question was more of, how do we continue to do more of what we already know how to do well? I've asked Carlos to share his story and give you a true example of his connection with Big Table and hope through the storm.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Carlos Villamar y trabajaba para 2 restaurantes, los cuales cerraron por la cuestión del COVID. En ese momento mi esposa estaba pasando una situación difícil, fue diagnosticada con cáncer y recuerdo el día que conocí a Jesse y Big Table, las palabras que él me dijo, que no me preocupara, que Dios lo había enviado para que todo estuviera bien. Big Table me ayudó de una manera enorme. Me llenó de bendiciones, no solamente me ayudó económicamente, sino que espiritualmente me llenó mi alma, mi corazón y llenó a mi familia de muchas bendiciones. Big Table hizo mucha diferencia en mi persona, en mi forma de pensar, mi forma de actuar, y al igual a mi familia la llenó de bendiciones con ayuda económica, pero sobre todo ayuda emocional. Eso se lo tengo que agradecer a todo el equipo de Big Table, a todas las personas que nos ayudaron. Mi esposa, es la primera vez que lo voy a decir, se lo dije a Jesse hace rato. Tengo una noticia, mi esposa ayer fue diagnosticada que ya no tiene cáncer. Fuimos con el doctor y gracias a Dios, bendito Dios, que ya no está. Tengo 2 hijos, mi niña de 6 años y mi hijo de 16. La historia de Big Table, mi hijo cumplió años el 7 de julio y una semana antes recibí una llamada de Lindsay de Big Table donde me dijo que algunos patrocinadores me iban a ayudar. Entonces ese fue el regalo para mi hijo, el de comprar unos tenis. Fueron a mi casa, a mi hija le llevaron muchas cosas. Es mucha la diferencia y por eso yo tengo mucho que agradecer. A mi esposa también la ayudaron, a mí económicamente, pero espiritualmente más. Pienso que habríamos muchas personas sufriendo y batallando con situaciones semejantes a esta. Big Table hace mucha diferencia, por eso estoy muy agradecido con todo el equipo de ellos. Darle las gracias y que Dios los bendiga por siempre a todo el equipo de Big Table y a todas las personas que ayudan a otras personas en situaciones similares.
You know, we certainly track statistics, but it is the individual stories like this that make Big Table what it is. You know, we're just getting started, but part of the flexibility of a virtual event like this is that you don't need to wait until some specific moment to give. It's simple to do, and the website address is at the bottom of your screen. And let me just mention, if you're one of our amazing virtual table hosts tonight who's invited friends to join you from their own homes, how about you text them and share what you would hope that you might raise as a virtual table group tonight? Now, on with the show. Let me summon to your home with yet another bottle of hand sanitizer, Kevin Finch, Big Table's founder and executive director. Kevin, this one's for you.
Thanks, Brad, for keeping us on track and fully sanitized. You might notice the Big Table toilet paper stockpile behind me. That's actually 210 rolls of premium 2-ply. And we did that just because you got to have a little bit of humor in this crazy time. But I'm not actually in the Big Table toilet paper bunker. No, I'm actually in a restaurant that was closed in March and is still empty, Manitou Tap House. Here's the truth. None of us have a roadmap for navigating this pandemic. But I can tell you that our mission as Big Table is absolutely critical now, just as critical as it was in 2009 when Big Table started in the midst of the last recession. So many organizations appeared out of nowhere this year to meet urgent needs because no one existed to care for those needs. Big Table is different. We didn't just form in March. We have 11 years of hands-on experience caring for those most in need right now. We have systems in place, trained teams, relationships and partnerships throughout the community, all of which prepared us for the crisis that COVID brought. If you've set foot in a church or synagogue, there's a good chance you've heard the story of Esther. Esther was a young Jewish refugee in the Persian Empire. Against all odds, Esther was chosen to be queen in something of a Miss Persia beauty pageant. This took place just before a plot to wipe out every Jew in the empire was set in motion. Esther's uncle sent her a message when the plot was discovered, and he asked her this: could it be that you were made queen for just such a time as this? My question in the Big Table frame would be this: could it be that God designed Big Table for just such a time as this? We exist to care for those in crisis in the largest industry in the nation, or the industry that was the largest in the nation before over 8 million restaurant workers were let go in March. At the same time, at least as many hotel workers also lost their jobs. Now, these workers were already the most vulnerable in the country before the world turned upside down. They have been. They have been for years. And Big Table has been caring for them for years. 11 years. Our goal from day one has been to help people long term rather than just kick the can down the road a month or two. And I can tell you that it works. From day one of the shutdown, our whole team was all in. Referrals flooded in, and we responded. Already, we've helped over 1,500 care recipients. And with their families, that means that Big Table has already directly impacted over 5,000 people right on the edge. But this isn't over. And who continues to struggle the most? It's those at the bottom of the ladder, hourly employees in restaurants and hotels who still don't have jobs to go back to, who are only getting a fraction of the hours that they need to survive. Now, I could tell you more myself, but let me share the screen with someone who's also on the front lines.
Well, for me personally, what's been the hardest thing, through this pandemic is the employees in general. I kind of got into this business, because of the people. I fell into this industry by accident, but what drew me was the people. I met people from all over the world, became friends. So knowing that our employees now are struggling through this is really hard personally on me to see that kind of happening day in, day out, and trying to do as much as I can personally to help them. It's been really tough. It's not only financially people are struggling, but emotionally it's really starting to take a tear on people. For our employees, I think just in general, some individuals couldn't get, unemployment insurance, or they couldn't pay the rent, or they have kids that can't go to school. Now they're trying to figure out what to do with that, so that affects them. And maybe they can't go back to work because they need to stay home, but they need money to pay rent. So they're going back and forth with this internal battle that me, not as a parent, would never know. Yes, we have one particular employee that's been with us for about 5 years who has been having to adopt her sister's 3 children. And that has been really hard to kind of see that with her, because again, she's going through these struggles of, family first, but she also needs income now with more children. She already had 3 children of her own that are going through basically in college right now, and these kids are all under teenagers. So everyone has had to adjust, and that, we had to adjust to that as well and plan a little bit better and a little bit deeper and kind of a little more thoughtful. And the crazy thing is, that's really just our restaurant group. San Diego has so many restaurants. California times it by another 10. America times it by millions of people that are dealing with this over and over daily and not really knowing what the future holds for them. Someone asked me the other day what the future of our industry is. I'm not sure, but we do hope one thing in our group, in CH in San Diego, that we learn something from this and we get better. And we have to make a lot of changes in our industry to keep growing. And the one shining light through all this, what I've learned over the last 6 months is Big Table being in San Diego has been a godsend for us here. What Jesse and the team has done for us, and the support that they have given to our team members, and every single one of those team members, I got goosebumps, truly got goosebumps, is that they've all called me after they've had a call with Jesse. And the neat thing about it is that it's not just this cookie cutter, okay, here's $200 to every employee. They spend time to talk to our employees to really find out what each person needs, and they focus on getting that employee what they need. And to me, that's what makes Big Table super fantastic, and this should be in every city in our country because our industry needs Big Table.
Well, Kevin is going to share more, and we have 2 more stories we'd like to share with you, but now's the time we want to ask you to consider how you can support Big Table. For us to continue to help at the pace that the needs are coming in, we need your generosity tonight. If you're financially able to give, would you do so? Give what you can, but let me just share the impact for an individual or family in crisis at several specific levels. $1,500 to $2,000 keeps a family in their home. Right now, you know this, that rent or mortgage is the biggest bill, and so many other things depend on the stability of a home. And once a family is evicted, all sorts of dominoes begin to fall, and it takes so much more money and support to rehouse them. If you give $1,000, that covers food for a family for a month. Some of the referrals that we've been getting share the despair of parents that are unable to provide for even the basic needs of their kids. $500 covers a critical bill for a family for a month. This can keep water on, this can keep lights on, this can keep a car from being repossessed. All sorts of needs can be met with $500. $250 provides triage care for a single person in crisis. And let me just tell you, it's amazing what $250 towards a critical bill does to keep a person from spiraling. If you can give $100 keeps a person's phone on. And that sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but that allows them to communicate with an employer or receive calls from a job if it becomes available. They can communicate with their kids and their family. Maybe you're in a place to give more than what I've just suggested. I want to just say, please do. Or maybe what you can give, you feel like it's not significant. It doesn't really add up. And let me just tell you, whatever you give, we will turn that into hope. And so the question is, how do you give? The simplest way is if you can go to our website online. It's a secure website, www.big-table.com. We also have included several mail-in giving envelopes in each host box. And if you have any trouble, just call us and email us. We would be glad to help you give. No joke. Kevin, is there anything else that you want to add here?
One idea that I've got. Would you share this video with some friends or colleagues? Currently, it's a private link, but tomorrow we're going to open it up so that anyone who wants can watch it. We'll send you an email if we have your email, and we'd ask that you post a link on social media or email it to a couple friends who you think might be interested in the Big Table story. I mentioned earlier that Big Table started in the middle of a recession, and we've been caring for those most vulnerable for 11 years. We have deep roots to weather this storm. We're established, and we know how to care effectively. But we truly need your help, and not just in the next few moments with a gift. I'm asking if you would join nothing less than a movement that has been building for a decade, because together through the storm, we can actually change not just the city, but our country, caring together for those who are most vulnerable, one person at a time. Would you join us? We need your financial generosity if you are able, but we also want to ask you to personally connect with the people behind the masks right now. For years, I've been challenging people to see the needs behind the smiles of those who serve them. Now we can't even see their smiles, but we can care. A one-time gift is a huge help. But if you can give monthly over the next year, your gift compounds to allow us to help so many more people. Let me ask that key question one more time. Could it be that Big Table exists for just such a time as this? Here's another story of what we together have been able to do. But this one started before the pandemic and gives a glimpse of the longer arc, the longer-term impact of Big Table.
My family was struggling with homelessness, and then finally we were able to get out of the homelessness, but then my mom, eventually we had to leave her, and my dad having health issues. It was really hard. I felt like I was now the parent of the family. You know, I was doing homeschooling, so then I started having to really teach myself, and now having to figure out, okay, how many hours at work do I have to get to maintain helping, my family out? And that was just really hard to juggle everything at once. Yeah, so then COVID happened, and that was really hard because I was told you can either wait it out as at the job that I was at, or you can find another job. And in the middle of a pandemic, that is extremely hard to find another job. Big Table was able to help in many ways. I was really worried that my family was going to become homeless again, but Big Table was able to give us help with rent. And so from that period of trying to look for another job, we were able to stay in the place we were at because of that rent help. And they helped me in so many ways. I've gained a mentorship with Lindsay, who is a care coordinator at Big Table, and she's helped me with so many things like advice. And we've been able to go to frozen yogurt together, and she really is there for me to talk to her. And we even went for pottery, which was really fun to paint pottery. But I told her that my computer spacebar is broken, which I didn't know how I was going to, do senior year or college with a broken computer. And because of the help that Big Table gave me, they gave me a brand new laptop computer, which is so amazing. And now it's so much easier to do my homework and do school now, and even into college. If Big Table didn't exist, my family would unfortunately probably be homeless. And I don't know how I would finish senior year or even, eventually go to college with a broken computer. And I would definitely be in not a good state of mind because I wouldn't have a job and I wouldn't have, great relationship with Lindsay, and I would really be struggling. I mean, think about it. I'm 17, I'm in a big city, I didn't have a job and I'm looking for a job and I have to help my dad, and I feel so alone. But if Big Table wasn't there, I don't know where I would be right now. Thank you so much for giving so that someone else can feel as loved and cared for as I do.
Right now in San Diego, our team is providing both triage care and relational care for those in need. This virtual fundraiser, we need to raise $50,000, and we need your help. This will allow us to care for over 400 people that are right on the edge. Here in San Diego, half of nearly 200,000 industry workers lost their jobs overnight. Only 23% have gotten their jobs back. Many independent restaurants and hotels literally had to furlough 90 to 100% of their staff. This means that 50,000 individuals are still out of work, and those that are working aren't getting the hours they need in order to make it. But we can do something about this, and we need your help. We reached out to those that are already giving and some that have been supporting Big Table for years, and they wanted to say a little something too.
I am Brendan Bias with Tito's Handmade Vodka.
I'm Aaron Fish from Eat Good Group.
Hello, I'm Greg Anderson with McGregor's Ale House.
Hi, this is Rip Ripito.
Hi, this is Mike Kilgore with Kilgore Architectural Products.
My name is Oz Blackcolor with Cueva Bar Cafe.
I'm Diane Smith with Barris, Smith & Kaminsky CPAs.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Leinonen, founder and CEO of Gourmando Co.
And I'm Tyler Hefford Anderson, part of the chef team here at Gourmando, as well as member of the Big Table Board in Seattle.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Amy Lee with Breakpoint.
Hi, I'm Kelly Groves with the Davenport Hotels.
Hi, I'm Danny Walters with U.S. Foods.
I'm Manny Hockheimer from Numerica Credit Union.
I'm Julie Norris from Downriver Grill.
I'm David Hine.
And I'm Megan Hines.
We own Beaumont's and Brocktonville restaurants in La Jolla.
I'm Charlie Blaine with Blaine Realty.
This is Jamie Fox from Hops and Drops.
I am Randy Irvine from Harbor Food Service.
Hi, I'm Elena Herbert, president of Ascent Hospitality Group.
I'm Philip Anderson with Ecolab.
I'm Rod Greenshills with the Vasara Wealth Management Group at Morgan Stanley.
Thank you for joining us and supporting Big Table.
That was only a few of the companies that we've been honored to partner with to care for those in the industry. From day one, we committed to do this together with others, and that has been a part of the joy of Big Table. Just as the pandemic hit, we were putting together a video that highlighted the long-term transformation possible through Big Table Care, and we wanted to share that one with you as well.
All of the most vulnerable people who are still able to work end up concentrating in the restaurant and hospitality industry because it's a place where you can get a job without barriers to entry.
My smile has been a dead end in my career just because I can't really be in front of people with my own self-conscious business, just being shy, and I want to walk out and smile when I talk to them, and it's kind of makes me feel like they're almost going to lose their appetite, with me walking out there.
Yeah, we've been to the edge and back a couple of times.
We've had a hard go at it the last 7 years.
Yeah.
You put all of those people under one roof, it's no surprise that there's going to be all of those risk factors and high statistics.
Met up with the wrong people and started using methamphetamines. And I did that for about 2.5 years, $360 worth a day. It was a whole different nightmare than anything else I've ever had. I mean, I was sleeping on park benches and couch surfing, depending on where I was gonna get my drugs from was where I was gonna stay that night.
It's a place that if you can't get a job anywhere else, you can get a job in a restaurant, you can get a job in a hotel. It's kind of this collective pool of some of the most vulnerable individuals.
It's the small things that sink somebody or sink a family, like, oh crap, the electric bill went up, or oh man, baby needs diapers again.
So Big Table is fitting a need that no one else was by really caring for just that group of people.
We've just come a really long way since Big Table first got started with us.
It's almost like they know when you need the help.
They weren't sure how they were going to get their baby home from the hospital because they didn't have a car seat. So that was step one.
They didn't know we needed a lawnmower, but they asked if we needed a lawnmower, and we absolutely did.
There was a time that we were having a crisis with our electric bill, and they paid that for us.
They really do care. They want to be a part of your life. They want to know how your kids are, how you are. They want to know, if things are looking up, or if they can help you with mentoring or getting connected with counseling or anything. They're amazing.
Chris would buy me a coffee and we'd just talk about life. Chris has a great big heart, and that's what Big Table's all about.
The opportunities now that they get to provide for their kids and their family aren't plagued by the past anymore, but really they're able to look to the future ahead.
It's not even the same world. It's not even the same life. Now we pay a mortgage. Our mortgage is set. We got that. And we're not riding the bus anymore. We have vehicles.
I am so proud of them. It's really fun to celebrate with them.
Everything's gotten 1,000 times better.
I've been so excited to see where Robbie is now.
The referral came in for that he needed teeth.
I can smile now. I actually have teeth that I'm proud to show. I get to be happy again. Went from being stagnant on being alive to happy to be alive.
I mean, the way he held himself seemed different. He's taken a life that felt like it had no hope to building his family and building his career.
It's broadened my career. I mean, I'm able to do jobs or look into jobs and career paths that I had never even dreamed of. And so, yeah, I went to graphic design. I went from, my 3 months of training to 3 months later being moved to a senior, 4 months down the road to being moved to a lead. It definitely changed everything for me.
Our goal is to walk alongside someone and support them, build capacity in their lives. If we do that, we've succeeded.
To just have a loving, non-judgmental hand is priceless.
Having someone reach out and pull me out of that darkness was, something that I'll never forget.
So hey, before we wrap this whole thing up, we thought we'd give you one more perspective of Big Table and the folks behind it. I'm Mark Patrick.
And I'm Tara Patrick, and we've been givers since 2012.
That sounds like a long time, but I've also served on the board for 6 of those years, so for us, it seems like it just hasn't been very long at all.
No, and I think what really just drew us to Big Table was how pure it was, how much they just give straight from their heart. There's not a lot of strings attached. And, I remember one Christmas, we had a chance to give to a family in need, and Mark and I went to Target with this list of all their needs, and they had 3 boys, and we were just having the best time just ripping toys off the shelves, throwing them in the cart, and it was a blessing for us and just such a joy to be able to help other people.
That's one of the great things about Big Table is when they're giving care, whether it's financial, emotional, spiritual, whatever it might be, it's real time and it's material right then and there. You're helping people immediately, and we got a chance to feel that. Christmas has always been a big deal to our family, and as our kids have gotten older, to be able to relive Christmas through a family we hadn't met before was really cool. So it was a big deal for us at Christmas time, but right now might be the most important time for all of us to be thinking about where we give some help for people who really need it.
I know, with COVID going on, there's just so much need, and everything you read in the paper is just, it's kind of heartbreaking, and to feel like anything we can do to help those people, even if it's just new shoes or rent or even bigger things, it's just so needed right now and so important.
So we hope you'll think about it. We know you give to a lot of organizations just like we try to do, and we sure appreciate that and want to thank you for that. But if you're looking for a place that you can really count on your money going as far as it possibly can, I would recommend Big Table. I told you I served on the board for 6 years, and I would tell you I watched Kevin and Jill and Chris just stress over every dollar that comes in to make sure that they get as much money out of it as possible into the hands of the people who need it in the way that they need it. I can't think of a time in our country's history where it's more important to give, and especially to this organization, to this industry that is in so much need. So hopefully you'll join us and become a monthly giver of Big Table.
Thanks, Mark and Tara, and thank you for joining us for our first ever virtual fundraiser, Eats Around the World 2020 style, which is more turned out to be kind of eats around the house, which is fine. But thank you so much for your generosity. I have a favor to ask. Would you share the link to this video with friends? We would be eternally grateful. And with that, I'm gonna pass this prized hand sanitizer back to you, Brad.
Hey, thanks, Jesse. We truly do want you to be a part of this remarkable movement to care for those most in need, because what we can do together in the storm will change lives forever. So thank you.